Hey, happy Lionsgate today for you, right? 8/8/2025. But the number 88 is very significant. We're going to talk about that today. We're going to do an incredible healing using the power of water. So you're going to want to stick around for that. There's so much beautiful, magical things we're going to do today, okay? Because it is a special day. And I'm gonna confess here, right up front, because in this channel we just keep it real. I don't hold back. We keep it authentic and raw. I that's why I go live, because whatever mistakes I make, we don't edit them out. So let me just be real honest. Like, I'm not an astrological nerd by any stretch of the imagination. Like most of you, I had my chart done. And here's something really interesting I just found out today. And because I asked Perplexity AI about the significance of Lionsgate. And there is a huge significance that I wasn't completely aware of. So, you know what? I suggest, if you're curious, like, what the heck is this? Like, why should I care? Go and ask. ChatGPT 5 just dropped a few days ago. So, oh my goodness, you have no excuse to be ignorant about these things. Go and ask. ChatGPT 5 is free. They have a free version, free level. So it has all the upgrade. I just think you are limited insofar as how much you can ask, right? Like how long you can be on there. But go and ask, because it's really quite fascinating. Because like I said, I'm not an expert on it. I just heard Spirit saying, well, you need to talk about this. You need to do a healing on this, because that's really my jam, me and Alan's, is that we teach spiritual development, specifically now for continuing relationships across the veil, so that you can be your own medium. That's the name of our channel. We've been doing spiritual classes and teaching and healings and mediumship and channeling for over 38 years. Well, him longer, and he's still working it like on the other side now. But it's just been our work for me more than half my life. So I wasn't all into the real nitty gritty of astrology, because quite honestly, I know that we're all source consciousness and we can rise above any limitation in our chart. And so I've had astrologers say, that actually the highest expression of astrology is that you don't reflect your chart, that was a blueprint and you broke out of it, so that you don't really even mirror your chart, because that's just, again, the basic launching pad, if you will, right? Like, that's how it was set up for you. Because if you looked at my chart, you would be astonished, because it would make you think that I should be very introverted, which I was when I was a child. But there's all this fourth house energy. But anyway, as it relates to Lionsgate, and it is 8/8. This is, of course, the month of Leo, and I am a double Leo. I have also Mercury in Leo and Pluto in Leo. So I have 4 planets in Leo. My moon and my sun are conjunct. So I'm a potent Leo force, right? And it's in the 4th house. So this means that I'm comfortable teaching in my home, which I am going to do, by the way, for those who don't know it. And I understand now, through talking to Perplexity today, having a 30-minute conversation, that my home is my power spot. And that's why when people come into my space, they are transformed. So I'm sharing this with you because it is related to Lionsgate, because this world we live in, all of creation is all about energy. It's all about vibration. It's all about frequency. Okay, so what we're dealing with today, on this particular day, is something that happens every year on 8/8, right? Every year. But this one is different. It's always going to be different, because the planets will be in different places in the sky. So it will be unique. And this one is especially potent for spiritual growth. They always are, you could say that, but this one is especially powerful. And we're going to use this today for manifestation, for either manifesting whatever positive change you want in your life, or maybe healing, whatever transformation you're seeking. Okay, I'm going to guide you to use this energy from Sirius, the light from Sirius, the cosmic energies, if you will, and we're going to put it in water. So before we even do that, I want somebody to get ready, okay? Because you may not have a glass of water. Like I have this beautiful glass that one of my clients gave me. It has a heart on it. I don't think you can see it. It's etched. So I want you to get a glass, any size glass, but not a teeny glass, okay? At least 8 ounce, 16 ounce would be better, because I'm going to lead you to infusing this water with the energies of the Lionsgate and your own intentions, okay? And then I'm going to be suggesting to you what you can do after today, because I would like to invite you to keep doing what we're going to teach you shortly for another 8 days, to lock in that number 8 and lock in the transformation that you are going to manifest. Okay. So let's just talk a little bit about, what the Lionsgate Portal is. And, it always happens when the sun in Leo aligns with the star Sirius, Orion's belt, and the Earth, the planet Earth. And it creates a high energy portal. So that's why they call it a gateway. So it's a portal. So we're going to make use of the portal. And even if you're watching this later, like the next day, or I don't care if it's the next month or next 6 months, it doesn't matter. You can still benefit by doing the healing, the water healing that I'm going to teach you, okay? Because this is not something you just do on Lionsgate or on any particular date, okay? It just happens that I'm using it, I was guided to use it to really harness the energies of Lionsgate for your transformation and whatever you want to manifest in your life, okay? So, and again, we're going to talk about that in a bit. But let's just really explore what Lionsgate is. But this energy is going to amplify spiritual energy, again, particularly around abundance, because that's what the 8 is. The 8 is infinity. So it's around abundance, and it's around your personal growth. And as we see it, personal growth is the same as spiritual growth. They're not different, because if you personally evolve, meaning that you rid yourself of any limiting beliefs or trauma or fear, you by definition are going to spiritually open up and evolve, because you become lighter, you just become more authentic, more the genuine true you. And that's what spiritual development is really about. It's not about you just having these amazing psychic abilities, although that does come with it. It's part of it, but that's not the purpose. You lock into those abilities that are there already because you become more you, right? So the more you become all of you, then your innate abilities, which you've always had, which you're born with because you're a soul that happens to have this body within you, because your body exists within your soul. Because you have that, right? The more you expand into being the full version of you, then the more all those abilities just surface. I found that out after taking a channeling workshop in 1987, and I was a complete newbie to any of this. And I started to hear things and feel things and know things. And I was only later that I understood that was because I was connecting with higher beings, with my guides, with my higher self. And when you do that, you're connecting with the 5th dimension, which is a non-physical. When you do that, you are going to start opening up. It's organic. There's nothing special or unique about it. It's just you having the intention to connect, right? To expand your awareness, to trust what you start to experience and let it unfold. Okay, but it's just that most people have to get rid of their limiting beliefs, because those energies, even the transmissions of guidance and communication from loved ones, has to come through the filters of your belief system. That's just how it is. Your belief system filters out what you are receiving, which is pure, completely pure transmission from source, from your guides, from your loved ones, okay, from all non-physical. It's all pure, undistorted. Then it hits your belief system, and then it gets distorted. Okay, and this is why in the work we do in our Be Your Own Medium program, a lot of it is focused on helping people like shift their limiting beliefs. And sometimes you can just do it by just coming to the realization of what the truth is. And then you go, oh yeah, that doesn't make sense. That belief I have that, I'm powerless or that I'm a victim and when you start letting those go, you become a clearer channel, right? But you're all channels. So with the Lionsgate, our goal here is to help you manifest whatever your higher self really knows you need. Okay, now you can say what you need when I guide you through this. However, if you want the highest experience, what I would recommend you do is to say, well, I'm willing to receive what I need. Like higher self, so that which is your soul, I'm willing to receive whatever I need. But it's perfectly okay for you to say, today I need healing, I'm really sick. Okay, I would like to receive energies or frequencies or maybe insights, because the insight could give you an idea of what could help you, right? It's not just like receiving some energy healing, although that by itself can be very powerful. It can also be that you get some idea that comes in that could be very helpful for your healing and transformation. So it's important to understand that you will get what you need, not necessarily what you want. And believe me, I would suggest that you lean into what you need because your soul knows what you need is what's going to truly empower you, set you free, and even heal you. Because wanting is usually coming from the physical mind, and the physical mind doesn't know really what is the next best step for you. It has its own opinion, but it's only based on the past, what happened previously. It doesn't know because it doesn't have the intuition that the higher self has. So it can't know like, oh, well, this is really the next step. This would be the next thing. This is what she really would help her, right? It can't figure that out. It only already knows what it knows. So it's very limited. So that's why we suggest that you, if you're not sure, that you just say, I'm going to receive what I need. And just let your higher self, which is actually the one orchestrating everything anyway, to take the reins, okay? Surrender to the control that's already in place, the control that your higher self already has on your life. Right. So now with the 8-8, right, the Lionsgate 8-8, that number 8, of course, is very significant in numerology because it represents balance, abundance, and affinity. Okay, so again, that's very auspicious for spiritual work. And I want you to take a moment just right now to mark it in your mind for the healing we're going to do later. Like, okay, what's my goal right now? What is my number one goal right now? That's if you want to come from that side of, okay, I'm going to ask for what I want. And that's fine. Again, there's nothing wrong with that. Especially if you're struggling with something that is really challenging for you, then of course, right, you can say, this is my goal, is to maybe open up my self-concept meaning, like, do you love yourself? Do you feel confident in who you are? Yes, you can ask for that. So think of what your goal is, okay? And with Mercury in retrograde right now, in Leo right now, it's a time for reflection. And again, we're setting intentions. Like maybe you realize, oh, maybe my intention isn't so much about, making more money or something. I'm realizing now I do need to focus more on my self-concept, on my feelings about my self-worth. Because here's the deal, guys. Those two things are related. You want more abundance in your life? Well, you better feel abundantly positive about you because it's all connected. All your beliefs are connected in truth. So if you feel good about yourself, you love yourself and others, you are going to, by definition, because you're putting that out, all that love, you're going to have an abundant life. It may not be that it's going to be the dollars that you want, right? Like, hey, I want to be a trillionaire, because let's face it, not everybody's going to be a trillionaire. but you're going to get what you need. You're going to be abundant to the degree that your higher self knows is appropriate and perfect for you. But it's the physical mind that is never satisfied. So that's something that people don't understand. That's why you see people who are out there and they're making a lot of money in their business or whatever they're doing, and it's never enough. It doesn't matter that they are a millionaire. Then they want to be a billionaire. Then it doesn't matter if they're a billionaire. Now they want to be a trillionaire, because they're really seeking status, or they're motivated by fear and they believe it's never enough. And so you don't want to run that game, because that's like a zero sum. You're never going to win, and you're never going to be satisfied. You're never going to be happy. Alan knows that because he would read for clients in Hong Kong, and some were English speaking because there's a large, group of British people there in Hong Kong at the time. Things have changed now, but he also read for the Chinese, the rich people who would come to him for readings, and he said this guy had 200 restaurants. And all these people own these franchises for things like Burberry and all these companies. He says, and they were still unhappy. They were still afraid and worrying about making money. So we're not saying money is bad, or it's certainly not the root of all evil. It's neutral. It's what you put into it. But we're just saying that that's not going to be the source of your fulfillment. You can choose to be the authentic version of you, and you will have the abundance that matches your frequency. Hope that makes sense. Let me know in the chat. See, I got your comments, on the screen in tiny, tiny little words, but your comments are on the screen. So, let me know what you think about that. If you agree with about that, that's just what we know to be true, but nobody has to accept it. We always encourage our students to just take what feels right, like get rid of the rest. You're the God of your universe, the creator of your life. We're just here to offer our perspective based on our experience, but I'm not attached to anybody agreeing with me. Right. So all these factors of the planetary alignment, the numerology, that's what makes this particular year very a powerful opportunity for soul transformation and growth. Okay, because you've got that, and that's where we're going to use the light of Sirius coming from that star that I can already see clairvoyantly is so powerful right now. We're going to infuse it in the water, and therefore merge heaven and earth. Because the water that I have at any rate in this reality is of the earth. It did come from the earth, from the water that came into the earth. And we're going to be infusing it with energies that will help us in our transformation. Okay, so now that you understand what we're going to do, let's talk about the power of water. Many of you probably know already that our bodies are 60% water. Do you understand that? Like, think about it. Our body is more water than anything else, 60%. Not only that, the brain, the physical brain, and your physical heart, they are made of 73% water. That's almost 3/4 of it is water. So what does that mean? What does that mean? It literally is why your thoughts that you think are being embedded in the water, which is then, because since the water is all through your body, right? It's literally going through every cell and organ of your body. This is why when people say, oh, your thoughts can heal you or make you sick, they mean it. Because your thoughts then are transmitted through the water, as the work of Masaru Emoto kind of displayed. And I know there's some controversy because it wasn't any scientific study, but these things are very difficult to give scientific evidence for. But he was credited with his experiments where he exposed water to different words and music and intentions, also like spoken intentions into the water, which is what we're going to do. And after freezing the water, he would photograph the crystals, right, that formed in the water and had pictures of it. You could see that the water that was exposed to, let's say, peaceful music, let's say classical music, let's say Mozart, for example, the water reflected the crystalline shapes that were formed were beautiful and harmonious, were symmetrical. The water that was exposed to, say, heavy metal music, really discordant music, was by contrast, or negative words, okay, or other chaotic influences, they formed like disorganized and very unattractive shapes. And so the idea that your thoughts and emotions can influence water on a structural level is kind of evidenced by that, right? So, and you can do your own experiments if you want to. And so since we're mostly water, it would suggest that we really need to be more mindful of the thoughts that we're holding and certainly of the words we are speaking. Okay? You might not be completely aware of your unconscious beliefs, but you certainly can be more aware and mindful of what you're saying to others. What are the words you're saying? Every word has an energy, and that word, if it's negative, is being broadcasted through literally through your entire body. Not only that, I just heard the other side saying, as if that's not serious enough, it's also emanating from you. It's like you're sending it out. It's like you're broadcasting it without realizing it. So if you're thinking negative thoughts of lack or unworthiness, and then you're saying it on top of that, that is even more powerful because their thoughts already create, but the spoken word has additional power. This is why when I'm talking to you, there is more being transmitted from me to you than just the words. Just the words. People who are intuitively very sensitive to energy, I think it's called synesthesia. Correct me if I'm wrong, if anybody knows that in the chat or in the comment later. And I'm probably going to spell it wrong. But, these are people who can see energy like as shapes. So they can see when people are speaking that the words that they're speaking take form, that they're taking geometric form. So it's not just that your thoughts when you're speaking it over the water or go into the water, your thoughts are sent out to the universe. Okay, they are taking form. And so if you keep talking about something, if you keep talking about you being unworthy, it starts to densify because every thought that you ever think creates energetically. Okay, so you could say it takes form. You don't see it right away because we're living in this dimension, which is the fourth dimension, third density, fourth dimension, 3 dimensions of space, 1 of time. So because of that, then there's a delay. And this is for our benefit, because if your words were to manifest instantly, I would say a lot of the population wouldn't really be here anymore because as soon as you would say, oh, I wish I was dead, I mean, you'd be gone. Because that's how instantaneous it is in the spirit world. Thoughts manifest instantly, but that's also why in the spirit world, it isn't, let's say, it's challenging to experience anything that you want to take time to like evolve. In other words, there's no process because process involves time. Like you get to adjust bit by bit by bit. You don't get that on the other side. As soon as you have a vision in your mind, let's say of a painting you want to paint and you're in spirit, it instantly is created. Instantly created. So can you understand that if you're a master painter and you want to stretch yourself, you want to be challenged a bit, that's not as fun as you may think, because you want to be able to slowly explore it. And that would include sometimes making a mistake. Like, oh, I didn't want that to be in the painting. I didn't want it to look exactly like that. Maybe I'll start over. But you come here because you want to have the process, because there's something to enjoy about that, where you get to experience it just kind of unfolding, and you can adapt and you can refine it. And it's Alice says over there that, yeah, it's not as fun, because he was an artist and he'd get very frustrated not being able to paint exactly the way he wanted to paint something. But now he says it's kind of like, AI, in that you could give AI a prompt and it could literally give you some beautiful design, and you go, well, that's really amazing, because it can give you these incredible creations. Okay. And you might go, that's really beautiful, but that's not fun. Like, is it? He goes, it's not fun for him. It's like, I want to slowly like put it together and take time to look at it and experience it. And it isn't fun when it's just like, here you go. You want that painting in your mind? Like, here you go. Okay, now it's done. There's no fun in, there's no journey. How can there be a journey when it's all instant? Again, a journey requires a process, gradual unfolding. So I hope that that makes sense to you, and that you understand that that's why you're here, for the process. The only reason people get upset that it takes time is because they're frustrated, they're not where they want to be, or they're dealing with something that from their perspective is negative, like they're struggling health wise, or in a relationship that is toxic, or financially, or what have you. Whatever they're dealing with in this reality is just making them miserable, or I would say they're choosing to be miserable about it, because they don't understand that the reason they're here is to explore the contrast of life, because there's no contrast in the spirit world. There's only oneness. There's no duality. So here you have light and dark, you have heat and cold, you have love and hate. So can you see, like, you don't have any of that on the other side. There's only oneness. There's non-duality. That's how the other side is defined, as non-duality. This world is duality, opposites. And spiritual mastery is about becoming really adept at navigating those opposite extremes and being able to be more in neutral. Neutral doesn't mean having no emotion, not at all. It just means you're not extreme, you're not in the extreme. So you're not like in the extreme of hate and separation, and you're not necessarily, I'm not going to say love in its extreme, because that's who we are. But if you're somebody who is kind of like the example their spirit's just giving me is like bipolar. You're either manic, right? Like really like hyper, like happy, 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 hyper, hyper, high energy, or you're depressed and down, right? So that's an example of duality. And obviously the more harmonious place to be is in neutral, where you get excited when it's appropriate and you're doing something that makes you excited, and you might get a little bit concerned or a little bit down if something gets in your mind that makes you worry or afraid, but you are able to manage that. You don't stay locked in to that depressed state, that low state, or and you don't stay locked in to the manic state, the hyper state, because that's the distortion too. It's the middle ground, okay, where you are in neutrality, and yet you can kind of go between the two, because it's not like you're only neutral and you never ever get really happy, or you never ever get sad. It's not about that at all. It's that you're not stuck in one extreme or the other. So this is what it is to be here and learn from the contrast. You see, like, you don't get to do that on the other side. You don't get to have those extremes. There's none of that. But this is why we incarnate. And again, the reason people are not happy about being here is just because they're suffering. But it's also because most people don't understand the power that they have, that their thoughts create their experience. We live in a world that is a projection of our consciousness. What does that mean, Pam? You say, what is consciousness? Consciousness is thoughts. That's what it is. You're conscious, you're aware, you have thoughts. You will never not think. It's just that you'll drop the body and you'll expand to being the soul that you always are, and you'll be pure consciousness, thinking, alive, creating, but in the spirit world, where again, there's only non-duality, so you can't experience extreme. And so as a soul, you can choose to incarnate into this reality or other realities and experience those realities, which some realities are very different from Earth. You can go to another planet. You can go anywhere. And that is how we as a souls love to learn, not just by staying in the spirit world where everything is kind of, I mean, this is kind of, I'm being kind of silly here, but yet I think it gives you an understanding. It would be like living in a Disney cartoon where every day is a sunny day and everybody gets along and there's never any conflict and, you know, there's never a problem. And after a while, souls get really bored. It's like, it's always the same. The example I always give here is like the movie Pleasantville, that life is kind of, you know, always the same. It's not interesting. And the soul wants to grow and be challenged and solve problems and take their consciousness to places where it never got to go before. To be in a body in this world is to have a perspective of creation that would be impossible to have on the other side, because now you're here from experiencing creation from a very unique perspective that is in a way limited. And because it's limited, it's actually more interesting because you as a soul realize, I can break out of that limitation. I'm so powerful that I know I can, if I really focus on it, I can break free. And if I break free, there is tremendous growth for me. And even if I don't break free, even if I fail at what I planned to do as a soul, it doesn't matter, because I will have experienced something of value anyway, even by doing the opposite of what I intended to do. I will have experienced what it is to do the opposite. And there's still growth in that experience. Right? So hope you understand that. We're going to set you up now for the water healing, okay? But and again, I recommend, if you haven't, to read Emoto's books like Messages from Water or The Hidden Messages in Water. They're quite amazing. But again, his work inspired the idea of conscious intention as a tool for healing. So you're going to embed your intention in the water. We're going to help you with that. And you can use it in blessings and ceremonies and in meditation. Remember, you can do this. Even if you don't follow my guidance that I'm about to give you, you can do this by virtue of you being an aspect of creation. You are an extension of Source, of God. So that's why your thoughts and your words create to begin with. I want you to think about it. If you weren't part of God, Source, Creator, then nothing would manifest that you think about. It would be impossible. Okay? The reason you can and do manifest, a lot of people unconsciously, is because your thoughts do create. You can't avoid that. You cannot not think. Try right now. You can't. Try. Can you not think? Maybe for a second or 2 seconds. You cannot stop your thinking. And don't think that, oh, meditation is where we're supposed to stop thinking. No, it's impossible. It's like you're asking yourself to not be conscious. Even when you're sleeping, you're thinking. You cannot ever not think. It's just that when you're meditating, the goal is to not be thinking the chronic limiting thoughts that are intrusive, right, that are negative, but you are maybe pondering something, like reflecting on or meditating on the word love, or some looking at a tree and becoming one with the tree, and you're still thinking tree, or you're thinking candle because you're looking at the candle and you're becoming one with the candle. You cannot not think. So forget it. That would be like you're saying, I'm not going to be the creator being that I am. You can't not do that. You exist. This means you will always exist. And because you exist, you are consciousness in spirit form that occasionally will take a physical form or maybe some other form, but you will always exist. And because you will always exist and you're part of creation, you are always conscious, you're always thinking, right? You are who you are. And so the more you accept that and understand that your higher self is always guiding and leading you through the thoughts that drop into your mind without effort, when you're in a state of neutrality, not in a state of worry or fear or being in a low vibration state, okay? But when you're in neutrality at the minimum or feeling good, okay, you can pretty much trust the thoughts that drop in, because that is how the spirit world communicates. And we define spirit world as anything non-physical, including your soul, including your higher self, not just loved ones in spirit, not just guides, right? Not just ascended beings or angels, but any consciousness, because all of that is consciousness, any consciousness that is non-physical. Now, of course, people in a body can talk to us too. They obviously do. That's what we're mostly used to, right? Like people around us like talking to us. We're not talking about that. We're not talking about you talking to them on the phone or that kind of communication. We're talking about if you're just kind of living your day-to-day or even meditating and you're in a neutral space, and whatever comes into your mind, okay, as thought, is not coming from you. That's the point we really want to make. We cannot say with any accuracy what the source is, okay, because it could be any of that. Could be your higher self, could be your loved one, could be any, again, consciousness that's not physical. They can be around you and they can drop those ideas into your mind. But you can pretty much be sure, I'm not going to say 100%, because with anything, when we're in the physical world, there can always be an exception. But most of the time, predominantly, you will know it's not you, because your physical mind, this is really important, okay? I want you to really hear this. Your physical mind doesn't do that. It doesn't drop in these ideas when you're feeling neutral. It will do that when you consciously kind of ponder something, like you're analyzing it. That's when you're fully in your conscious mind. And then it will give you ideas, but those ideas, notice, didn't drop into your mind. You actually went after them actively on purpose. You were seeking to understand something. That is the domain of the physical mind, not the domain of your higher mind, of your soul. This is why we tell people all the time, And they may laugh, but you go a lot further in life if you stop thinking. Now, I don't mean that literally. I just mean if you stop the analysis paralysis, because that is locking you in to physical mind. And the physical mind doesn't have a clue as to what is the highest and best next step for you, but it will make something up like AI used to do. They hallucinate because it thinks, well, she asked a question. She believes I know the answer. I better tell her something. And so it'll make something up. Any of you who have experienced that, I know I have, and I'll have to argue with it. And I go, no, that's not true. and AI is better now. ChatGPT-5 is better now. It doesn't hallucinate as much. But back in the day, it would just tell you something that you knew would know blatantly. That's not true. And you would like tell it, wait a minute, that's not true. Like ask again. And it would refuse to admit it's wrong. It would not admit it's wrong. It would dig its heels in and say, no, this is the truth. This is the information, because this is how. I'm just using this analogy like that's your physical mind. No. This is what I know to be true from its very limited perspective, because it's basing it on what's happened in the past. Or maybe what you read in a book, which may or may not have been true either. But it's basing it on what it believes is true. It's not basing it on what it knows to be true from a higher perspective. It doesn't have psychic awareness. It doesn't have the perspective of source, of God. Only our self has that, right? But it doesn't have that perspective because it's on the ground floor of this world. It's not on the rooftop or the mountaintop seeing the far distance and knowing the true truth from your soul's perspective. So this is what I mean when I say that if you're in a neutral space and feeling at peace and something comes in, don't dismiss it. Don't disregard it and think that, oh, I'm making that up. No, it's not that at all. You could have just been given the biggest insight that could help you if you would embrace it and say, whoa, that's interesting. I'm going to explore that. Okay, so at least go and reflect on it, go see what it's about. We're not saying just go change your whole life because you got some message. We would never tell anybody that. But certainly don't just think, well, I must be making that up, because guess who would think that thought? Guess what part of you would be thinking that thought that you made it up? That's your physical mind. Your physical mind is always going to doubt things because it's kind of programmed that way. Your higher mind isn't. It's not programmed to doubt. It just knows what it knows. So it's going to just give this different feeling. It's going to kind of communicate a different way. But your physical mind is the part of you that is worried that intuition is just fantasy. It's just making it up. It's not real, okay? Because physical mind believes only in what's physical. So you cannot ever expect it to embrace or accept the idea that the non-physical is real. It's going to argue with you till the end of time, because from its perspective, only the physical is what is real. And it, just like AI, when it hallucinates, it will dig its heels in and it will tell you, no, you are wrong. Don't do that. You're crazy. What are people going to think? It's going to argue all that. Okay? And you need to be prepared that that's what's going to happen. And if you give it your attention and energy and you buy into it, then you move further away from your higher mind and your intuition. So stop the insanity. Okay. All right. So now we're going to do the water healing. So if you don't already have a glass of water, now's the time to go get one. Okay. God, my water is so heavy. So see, this is my water. It's not this color. This is the glass, obviously. It's a blue glass, but this has special meaning for us because a friend gave it to us. So I want you to get the water. Okay, just find it. Big glass if possible, but any glass is fine. And if you're not able to do this right now, because wherever you are, you can't go and get a glass of water, that's fine. Just come back to this later. right? You don't have to worry. You can still be with us because remember, your body is made of water. We're just kind of amplifying it. If all you did was listen to me talking and that's it, then you're still going to get the healing that you need or the transformation you need, right? We're just amplifying this. So I want you to hold that glass of water now, if you have that in your hand. And let me know in the chat if you have your water. Just let me know. Like, we have our live chat here going. Do you have your water? Yes or no? Maybe Alan says maybe they're all holding their water and they can't type. Okay, here's your glass of water. And I want you to just put your hands around it, right? Whatever way. I mean, this to me is kind of big, so it's a little bit big. So hold that for a minute. Okay, feel what that feels like. We're just starting here. Feel what that feels like. All right, now I'm going to have you, interestingly, I'm going to have you put that down. I just want you to kind of feel into it. Put that down for a minute because I'm going to guide you to something first, okay? I just wanted you to connect with the water in that way. So I want you to close your eyes. And if you're driving, of course, don't do this while you're driving. So I want you to close your eyes, right? And take a breath in through your nose. Hold it for a moment and then exhale gently through your mouth. Good. Take another deep breath in. Hold it for a second or two. And this time exhale and release all of your stress. Release all the energy that doesn't belong to you. Just let it go, let it go, let it go. And feel that energy just float away, just dissolve, just fall off of you. Take another deep breath in. And once again, on the exhale, release any last remnants of energies that do not serve you, that don't belong to you, that you no longer need. Some of these energies belong to other people. You're just going to send them back to them with love and appreciation. There's no such thing as bad energy. Okay, there's no such thing as good or bad or negative, really, or positive in the sense that you think of it, okay, in terms of judgment. There's only energy that's neutral. There's only energy that belongs to you or belongs to other people. And the only energies that you're meant to run in your system, in your aura, in your body, in your field, are energies that are congruent with who you truly are. Not anybody else's beliefs, not anybody else's definitions, not anybody else's emotional states. Okay, they might mirror yours because, of course, we're all human and we have human emotions, but you're not meant to, say, carry your best friend's pain or sadness about something. That's theirs, but you may have invited it in. It may have attached to your own pain or sadness, and now you're carrying their energy on top of yours. So now you're going to let it go. Without judging them or yourself, you're just letting it go. Take another breath in and release. Release it all. Release everything, every iota of what you've been holding on to that isn't yours, that you no longer need, that doesn't serve you, that doesn't match your true, authentic vibration, that isn't aligned with who you are at your core. Let it all go. I see right now the angels around you. You may sense them too. It's not just one particular angel. There are many different angels with all of you. It could be your guardian angel. It could be a particular archangel. I just want you to tune into that, to feel into that in whatever way you can. And if you can't feel into it, that's okay. Just know that they're there. You might simply feel this comforting presence around you. You might simply feel a little bit lighter. You might feel heat. The angels often come in with heat. You might even feel coolness. That's not usually how the angels come in. Coolness can usually indicate the presence of loved ones in spirit because they draw on our energy, not like energy vampires or anything negative, but they just draw on our energy so that they can more connect with us. That's why in physical mediumship sessions in a dark room or seance, people often feel this chill or this coolness. That's spirit. Okay, but whatever you feel, whatever you experience, whatever you see in your mind's eye, whatever you perceive in any way, shape, or form, and even if you don't perceive anything, it's perfect for you in this moment. We promise you, if you do this again, which we encourage you to do, that you'll have a different experience. You'll perceive a different angel, or maybe you'll perceive someone in spirit, like a loved one or a guide. You are always changing in every second. So doing this exercise again will always be new, will always be unique. So never compare or say, well, it's not like what I had experienced last time. Whatever you experience is perfect in that moment. It is the most perfect experience that your higher self has been able to manifest for you in the now. Okay, so now with the presence of the angels around us, I want you to focus your awareness in your heart, in your heart space. And for this moment, I want you to tap into that idea, the truth, that your heart is 73% water. So hold thoughts of love and appreciation for your heart, for yourself, for your body. I want you to imagine that you're infusing those words into your heart. Okay? It doesn't matter, again, if you can't see it or feel it or anything. Simply holding the intention is what will manifest it. Because remember, thoughts create. Your thoughts, your intentions create instantly, without fail. There's no trying involved. You just think it, it is done. That's the power that you have as an aspect of all that is. Right now, keeping your awareness there in your heart. This may seem like a little challenging to you, but that's only because you have this belief that it is. So ease up on that belief, okay? But with your awareness on your heart, I want you at the same time to be aware of your brain, be in your brain that is also 73% water. So I'd like you to hold thoughts of love and appreciation for your brain, for all that it does for you. Did you know that your brain is actually more of an antenna? It's not a storage device. Your memories, your physical brain, they're literally in the cloud and they get downloaded. But your brain is still this important antenna. It holds your pineal gland, which is the center of your intuition. Some call it the seat of your soul. We're going to talk about the pineal gland in the future. But for now, let's just give our brain and our heart all of our love and appreciation. Okay, just feel the resonance of those words going into our brain and our hearts and flooding it with love and appreciation. And now I want you to imagine that we're bringing in the light of Sirius through the top of our heads. Just envision the light whatever way you can. It doesn't matter, again, if you can't see it. Just know that it's coming in through the top of your head, into your crown chakra, into your brain. It's going into your pineal gland, activating that. It's going into your throat chakra, activating that. It's going into your heart and activating that. It's going into down from your heart, right, down to your solar plexus, right above your navel, activating that. Then below your navel to your sacral chakra, right? Then it's going down to your root chakra at the base of your spine. So let the light of Sirius come into your body, into all your chakras. You don't even have to know what a chakra is. Your body knows what that is when I tell it. So it will just automatically do this. It'll automatically run the energy just because you open it up to it and you're intending it to happen, it will be. So you're running the light of Sirius through your body, letting that light infuse every cell of your body. Right? I want you to feel that energy moving through you. I want you to feel that light of Sirius now fountaining out of your hands, the palms of your hands. That light is pouring out of your hands. It's pouring down through your head, out your hands. And now I want you to imagine that that light is fountaining, not only going into your brain, into your mind, in your head, but fountaining out, like the overflow is coming out of the top of your head, but it's also fountaining out of your hands. Okay. So now, even if you have your eyes closed right now, I want you to open them because I want you to carefully get hold of your glass of water. Okay. You can do it. I know you can do it. You can open your eyes, hold your glass of water, and knowing that your hands now are fountaining the light of Sirius, right? You're holding the water, and that light is going into the water. Just stop there for a moment. Just infuse the light into your glass of water. But now I want you to think about what it is that you're wanting to manifest or change or transform. What is it? What's your intention? What do you want to create? What do you want to change? I want you to hold that thought in your mind. I want you to see the manifestation of it. What would it look like, or what would it feel like? And I would like you to get really excited about it. Just feel how thrilling it would be for you to manifest this experience, this change. What would it be like if it happened now? See that in your mind. Get as excited as you can. And I want you to direct that vision, that excitement, that energy into the water by holding one of your hands over the water like this. I have my palm of my hand over the water, and I'm just filling it on that level too, not just around the glass, but into it directly. My palm over the water. If you feel guided to, or you prefer, you could just look at the water and imagine that you see that scene playing out. So you do this with a bowl of water if you prefer. There's so many ways you could do this water healing. But for the sake of our sharing today, we're just using a glass. But again, you could do this in other ways later. Infusing this water with this energy makes it a potent vessel for your healing because you're going to drink it in a minute. Okay. We're just amping up the energy, raising the energy. I'm holding the space for you. Your guides, your loved ones, the angels are also supporting you and infusing their love and their positive intentions for you. If you're inviting them in, they will do that. If you don't want them to do that, they won't. But just hold that water. Now I'd like you to take a deep breath in And on the exhale, I'd like you to exhale into the water your intentions. I'll repeat that again. You can do it more than once. Hold that vision, that intention of what you want to manifest. Think about it. Breathe it in. And on the exhale, blow into the water gently, infusing that water with that intention. And now, still holding that water, I would like you to think of whatever thoughts you want to additionally infuse into this water, besides the light of Sirius. Are there other, every word creates. So what would you like to add to it? Would you like to add, let's say, the energy, the vibration of courage, of resilience, of purity, right? Abundance, joy? What words would you like to project into your water? Because you have your microphones on, you can say it aloud. When you do this on your own, you can, of course, write the words and tape them to the glass, which will then infuse the water with the words. Okay? But for now, we're just speaking the words. You could chant something into the water. The beauty of water is that it's something that we can ingest. And since our bodies are full of water, guess what happens? We're going to drink this water, and this water is going to merge with all the rest of the water in our body. It's going to make its way through our entire body. That is the power of thought combined with water that we then take in. Right? So let's once again just send light and love, peace, and whatever energies or frequencies we want to take into ourselves. Bless this water. Let it be a power and a force for our healing. May it restore us, rejuvenate us, and connect us to our true selves. So when you're ready, when you feel ready, just drink your water and let me know if you taste something different. Can you taste, does it feel sweeter? Mine certainly does. Does it feel sweeter? Does it feel clean? It doesn't matter, again, if you don't feel anything. Right, so Melissa just said the water tastes slightly sweet. Yeah, that's what I usually find when I do this. So drink your water. I'm not going to drink all of mine because I'm going to keep talking, but I'd like you to drink all your water. I'll drink mine later. Okay. I suggest again that you do this if you feel guided to. Don't do it just because I told you to. Don't do anything that anybody tells you just because they told you to. Do it if it feels good for you to do. If you go, yeah, that feels exciting. I'm interested in that. I want to do that. Then that's your guidance from your higher self. Okay. But don't just do it because anybody tells you to do it. Just feel it. Like, yeah, that resonates with me. I think I will do that. That feels good. And if you, again, if you're guided to, it feels good for you to do, then do this every day for the next total of 8 days. So today's day 1, so do it for another 7 days. And when you do, if you decide to do this, then write it, if you have a journal, then or some some sort of, maybe on digitally, go write it in your document or something, but chronicle what, if anything, you experience. And you might notice you feel something subtle. It doesn't, even if this change is subtle, it can be very profound. So just track what you believe has changed, anything that's different. Okay. And experiment with what you put into the water. Of course, it doesn't mean you're going to put in the light of Sirius. You just put the light of source, of God, of all that is. Just trust what you feel guided to do. As long as it just kind of, again, drops into your mind and you go, oh, today I feel like I'm going to recite this favorite affirmation of mine. Okay. Then that is what your higher self is nudging you to do. Then go do that. You could even, again, like, write the words of it on the glass. I don't mean etch it in the glass, of course, but tape it. You just write it on a little piece of paper and you tape it on the glass. And you can let it sit, like I would do it, like let it sit maybe overnight, like in your refrigerator or something, or cover it. It doesn't have to be refrigerated, but if you want to cover it so nothing falls into it, then fine. Please do it with glass, not plastic. Okay. That's just because plastic is not good for you. As we all know, people are worried about microplastics getting into their bodies. So you don't want to use plastic. And glass is optimal. Okay. And most people have glass, right? Glasses in their home. So Sandy says it tastes very clean and fresh. Whatever you were saying, like the light in my fingers and hands, etc., I felt it before you said what I would be feeling. Oh, I love that. I love that. Okay, see, you're really tuned in. Really tuned in, Sandy. I love that. And Donna says, my water tastes pure and sweet. Yeah, absolutely. And Pam says, I need to drink more water. Yay, yay, yay. You're going to drink more water now. It's going to motivate you to do that. I drink a lot of water. I drink a lot of water. You should too. I drink a lot of water because I take supplements that, in order for them to work, I need to drink a lot of water. And I sleep on an earthing mat that needs more water. I do a lot of things that require a lot of water. So yeah, this will help you get, not only, drink more water, but will supercharge your water, right? So it'll more motivate you to do that. So please do that, and then track in the journal, like, what changes do you notice? Have no expectation though, okay? Like with anything, it'd be like, okay, I'm just going to see what happens. I'm going to do what feels good to me because I'm following my excitement, my passion, my joy. And if it doesn't bring me joy, or if I don't feel interested in it, then I'm not going to do it. Okay? It should feel like something you want to do. Because if you don't, and because plus it's so simple, right? It doesn't have to be this long process either. So even though I led you into this visualization, you can do something very simple. Like I said, you could tape the words on the glass and leave it overnight, just because it gives it more time to go kind of sink into the water, if you will. Or you don't have to do that. You could just do what we just did today in a few minutes. Okay, just experiment with it. You can't go wrong. Can't make a mistake. Just see what you feel inspired to do by your higher self, because this is a practice that is beneficial in two ways, because you're trusting your intuition, which is coming from your higher self, as to if to do it at all, or if you do feel guided to do it, how to do it, or even when to do it. And then play around with, how do I do this? Do I say a prayer into it? Do I write the words on it? How do I do it? And just see what the difference is, if any. There might not be any at all. Okay. And just, again, just notice. Just you can't get this wrong, because we all need to drink water anyway. So how could you ever get it wrong, right? Like, okay, maybe I don't feel much of anything, but I certainly needed all that water, so I'm glad I drank all that water. Okay. So any questions from you guys in the chat at this time? Like any questions at all about it? Feel good? Feel the water? Okay. And I think I'm going to close with this because a few days ago was my husband's his birthday was August 6th, and he transitioned on his birthday, August 6th of 2020. So we celebrated his birthday. He chose to transition on his birthday so that I wouldn't just mourn his death, that I would be nudged to celebrate his life. And so we do. We always do something special on his birthday, and it's one of the best days of the year, literally. And I realized that, that this journey is just so extraordinary, to connect with them and to really understand that there is no death, and that we get to have these new relationships that are on this higher level. That it is always going to be a higher level because they don't have a negative ego. They're not having these negative chronic thoughts that you and I still occasionally have, some of us more than others. And now we know those words that are just like in our body, literally like toxic thoughts and toxic beliefs that are held in our body and then manifest as disease or illness or negative experiences and all that. It just blows my mind how love from the other side can transform us, can uplift us, can illuminate what we need to let go of, because that's what love does. Love is the master healer, and that means that it detoxifies us. It brings to our attention thoughts and beliefs and ideas that are not aligned with love, that are maybe aligned with fear or limitation, that don't reflect who we truly are. So I invite all of you to be more mindful of the thoughts you have, the beliefs you have, to show yourself a lot of self-love. Even if you do have right now a lot of limiting beliefs, it's okay. You came here to explore that. But every belief you have is just a belief. It's just an opinion. It's not a truth. It really isn't. You say, well, I can't do this because of XYZ. It's like, no, you're choosing that belief. And there must be something that serves you to have that limiting belief right now. Maybe you're exploring the contrast. Great. Okay. But it's still a choice. When you understand that all beliefs are true and all beliefs are false, meaning that none of them are actually real, they're not laws of creation, they're the rules that you set in place because you decided, well, this is what the truth is for me. This is what or who I am. I'm a person, I don't know, who has these fears, or I have these limitations, or I have these these gifts. I have these talents, or I have whatever that is. That is not you. You can redefine who you are. You're not even in your astrology chart. Okay. So I just want to include, because we're talking about the Lionsgate and it is an astrological event, I want to invite you to go, even if you haven't ever gotten your chart done. You can get like a one of those free charts that there's tons of them online, right? They'll spit out like a chart and you'll say, oh, I've got my Mars and Scorpio in the 8th house or whatever. Okay. You can get all that data, and you can actually go to ChatGPT. Well, I've done this with Perplexity. Had a conversation with Perplexity, and I asked it, well, can you kind of give me astrology reading? And it will go, no, I can't. You should see an astrologer. But what I can tell you are whatever things are in your chart. So if you were to say to it, oh, I've got Taurus rising, I've got these signs and this and this and this, right? And it's in this house. It will tell you, oh, well, you're this kind of person, and you can get insight about it for free. So understand even that, though, even that definition of who you are astrologically. You're here to break free of that too. That doesn't have to define you either. That was just the starting point. That's your what they call your natal chart. That was set in place when you were born because you came in on the date that you came in for a reason and you wanted the astrological influence of that. But the ultimate goal, and I've had other astrologers to confirm this for me, the ultimate goal is to not even reflect your chart to the degree that people go, you don't seem like somebody has 4 planets in Leo, because I don't. Or you don't seem like you're a Scorpio with, because they have this preconceived ideas of what a Leo is and what a Scorpio is and what you are here to break free of all that. That is your choice. Some of you, however, are here to just embody that chart because you said, well, I really want to explore the limitations of that chart. I'm all in. Fine. I'm just trying to say that some people are here to break free of all definitions because they want to rise to fourth density and be their authentic self and unencumbered by anybody's definition of who they are. Because in truth, you can create who you are in every moment. Our loved ones in spirit, they understand that. At the same time, they have their basic personality as you and I do, but that's only relevant for the spirit that they are and were and are in connected to this incarnation. Okay. You and I are so much more than who we believe ourselves to be. When you return to the other side, you understand that this who you are right now is a very small portion of who you eternally are. Let that bring you a measure of peace and also empower you to understand that whatever you feel is limiting you right now, whatever you feel you're struggling with right now, it is all a manifestation of a limiting belief that you hold. Okay, or you are here to explore that difficult, challenging experience to grow from. Okay, because that can be the case too. Either way, whatever's happening for you is what your higher self, your soul, has presented to you for your growth. So rather than lament it, like, why am I always dealing with this? Or, why am I always struggling with money? Or why can I don't know, never make any friends? Or why can't I ever, why do I always feel less than? Or whatever it is, okay? It is just a belief you're choosing or a fear that you have or all of the above. Okay? And that is not who you truly are. So the more you tap into your authentic self, the more you start to let go of all that and realize, wait, why am I choosing to think that? Why am I choosing to believe that? What am I so afraid of? I'm an extension of all that is. I can handle anything. Okay. So take that in. I don't know why Alan wants me to, this is so funny. He wants me to recommend to you, if you haven't already seen the movie, go out and see Superman. Because he wants me to share something with you that I don't think you know about, those of you who know our story. When Alan was a child, he fervently believed that he could fly. He just knew he could fly. And so his parents caught him trying to jump out of a window to fly several times. It got to the point where his father had to nail his window shut because he slept in the second floor. And he said, no, I always knew I could fly. I always knew that was my true nature, okay, as a being. And so he says he loves Superman, but he was never that fond of the other movie versions. But the one that's out now, he says, that Superman That's us. You are Superman or Superwoman, super person, whatever you want to just, define yourself as being in terms of heterosexuality, bisexual, whatever, okay? You are super person, super being. And watch that movie, listen to the soundtrack, tap into that energy, because that's the energy of ascension. You are someone who can fly. Maybe not with your body while you're here in fourth dimension, but with your spirit. Okay. Your consciousness is not bound to this world. Your consciousness can reach through the veil and connect. And it can, therefore, help your loved one in the spirit world reach back to you and be more engaged, where you see them and hear them and feel them. And some of you are seeing them physically. This is going to increase for those of you who understand that you are more than you were told you are. So if those words resonate as your truth, then live from that place. And when you find yourself thinking or saying something that consciously is limiting, is fear-based, right? Is disempowering, then decide right there if you want to change that or not, okay? Because you are more powerful than you understand. You can break free of anything life throws at you. Okay? You are Superman, Superwoman, Supergirl, right? Superboy, whatever. We love that movie. Alan wants me to go see it again. Listen to the soundtrack if you can't get to the movie. It is inspiring, because in that, this is what you'll see when you go to the movie, and even when you listen to the soundtrack. It's not like Superman has it easy. He actually is getting beaten up a lot in the movie. And this is you and me, people. It's like we're this super being. You can think of Superman as Christ, as Christ consciousness. Like, it's not easy being in a body, even if you know you're God, even if you know you're Superman, because you're up against obstacles to grow from, to strengthen yourself. Okay. And you have a crisis of identity, because he has a crisis of identity in this movie. This is our story. This is the human story. This is why so many people are resonating with that movie, not just because they feel the world needs a Superman. No, the world needs all of us to wake up as the super beings that we are, and then things are going to transform. So wake up the super being within you, because this is what you came here for. Your life mission is to be the authentic version of you, and that version of you can fly. Again, not with a body, but with your spirit and your soul. You're not bound by anything but what you choose to believe, and then you make real. So if you don't like your life as it is, choose different beliefs, choose different thoughts. Let those thoughts fill your body, put them in the water, change. You don't like your life? Change. You're not stuck. Nobody is stuck. You're a creator. You're a God. Wake up to it. If you don't want to, or if you didn't come here to explore that, then my words will just go right over your head, and you'll just keep doing what you're doing that is frustrating you, that is keeping you stuck and debilitated. And that's okay too, because when you finally do leave this world, you will remember all that you are. We're just inviting you to remember now. Because if you're listening to us, this I promise you, if you're listening to us and this resonates with you, this means that you can do it. It's just a question of, are you choosing to? That's all. We love you very much. We'll see you next week, right? Drink lots of water and let us know how it goes. All right? Take care. Thanks for watching.